Now, as you have seen in my previous video, I have one IBC tank. Now I've got a second one, and I want to improve the way in which I filter the water. By all know, you know that I use water lilies as a means of utilizing the nitrates that may come from the fish, as the nitrites and nitrates exist as a result of the poo from the fish. Now today what I've been doing a little filtering system so as to get some of those solids into one single area in which I could actually get out and wash and probably utilize it somewhere else. Now here's what I need. First, I need a power head. Now this is a power head. It's a 180 power head, but there's a trick in using a power head that is of less velocity than the tank size. For example, 180 power head and the IBC tank I'm using is I'm putting it up, I'm putting water in it up to 250. So we look at how I improve in the intake because it's less than the 250 that I mentioned earlier. Second, I need a basket. This basket will be used as a means of capturing the water, and the water will eventually escape through the holes, of course, and go back down into the tank. Then I need a 3/4 inch hose. By the way, the power head you can get it from a pool store, a store which deals with pools or tanks, or even a garden store. Hardware stores don't really sell it. If they do sell water pump, the water pump they sell is for big, or should I say large, ponds such as 3,000, 4,000, 10,000 GPH. Alright, okay, so here I have my hose, and in my hose I have some fiber, and the fiber will be used, and you will see how I put everything together shortly. And from my garden store, from my local garden store, I bought an elbow for a 1/4 inch hose, which will be going into this 3/4 inch hose. Right, I also have tangent, and this tangent is very essential because I'll be putting stuff together, and because it is waterproof, it holds stuff within the water itself. And here I have a hand drill, and I'll be putting things together. So let us go from one step to the next. First thing I need the drill, and I'm gonna be going in my tool pan to find a drill bit that can facilitate my work right now. So here I have a 1/2 inch drill bit, and I'm going to use this 1/2 inch drill bit to bore a hole into the basket. After this hole is bored into the basket, I'm going to put the elbow here, so the pipe water from the pump will be carried all the way up to here, and it will release itself into the basket, and this fiber will go into the basket. When it's wet, it's a little bit more easier to manage. Go into the basket, the water will be released into the basket, and the gunk and all the little things that I don't want in the bottom of the pond will be coming into the basket. It won't escape because the fiber will hold it. Now my other pump in which I use a old map. So you can get an old house map, you can cut it, and you can tie it up together just like a spawning map. Alright, you can get this again at your local hardware, or you can get it even at your local pet store. So I'm going to be going and drilling right now so as to get this thing started. So here the basket, the hole is drilled. Right, now what I'll be doing next is to fit this elbow into this hole. So as to allow, and you can't drill the hole too small or too big. You have to drill it so that it's very tight and it goes through and holds very nicely. Right, it clips nicely. Good. Good. Now since it's on and you don't want it to be shaken off, while it's in operation, then now you're gonna put your tangent. You're gonna put a little tangent around it. So I am gonna go for my tangent, where it's over here, right? Yeah, tangent. So I put the tangent around it and allow the tangent, what you call pipe glue, allow the tangent to dry. Because you're dealing with fish, you do not want the residue of the tangent to be in the water, so you leave it for a bit to dry. Now I'm leaving my own for probably about an hour, then I get back to that. So here you have the basket and the elbow put together. Right, this is the first phase of my pond filter, right? And as soon as it is dried, I will be putting this hose to it, and this hose at the other end will go on top of. Alright, good. And what I'll be doing, I won't be using any tangent or any clamps on this, because at times I will have to take it out from maintenance. So what I'll be using instead some tie straps, in which I'll get shortly, and I put over this, so when the water is going up, it won't lose its momentum and falls down and the pressure decreases. So far I have shown you that this is glued so as to ensure that it holds firm in the hole in which I've drilled in it. Now you might be wondering how this wasn't in the original plan. Now my intention is to have this filter float on the top of the pond. Now styrofoam doesn't sink, it floats. So what I intend to do, in addition to the mechanism which I have employed before, is to attach this to this styrofoam, and you can get any styrofoam that you wish, right? This is from some washing machine thing which was delivered recently, and I used it in an effort to get rid of one, the junk, and two, it's useful. It's just kind of a recycling, so you can get a piece of styrofoam if you wish. Now what happened is that this will be glued to here, so whenever I am taking it down for maintenance, I will just lift out everything from the pond and clean, washed, and reinstall it. So now I'm going to be using the water pipe adhesive to get this on here. So here I am. I put a little here, little here. I don't want to put it into the holes so as to prevent the water from running out when it actually goes in the basket. And I placed it there, put a little inside so as to ensure that it really close. And again, this will have to stay for a bit before it is moved. This is left at an angle so that when the hose, I'm going to drill a hole here, and I'm going to put the hose in which I showed you earlier on through this pipe. This will be filled with the fiber, which is here, will be filled with the fiber, and the fiber will collect the gunk which comes through. Another way in which you could actually ensure that this is held in place is by tacking a few screws in it. That's what I'm going to be doing. So hold on a sec. So here you have the 2 screws. Find 2 screws in my junk box, and I'm going to be putting these screws in this styrofoam so as to ensure that it stays afloat. It's tangent, yes, what you call adhesive. Right, so that's one. Got them out of my junk box. You know, you can get them at the hardware. Right. So this is it, and this should hold the filter bed in the floating foam. Now this will be floating, and more than likely some lilies will be placed here, and during the course of it being in operation, I can't put this in here as yet, because if I do, the tangent, the glue in there, will actually be glued to this, so I again have to wait another hour or so for it to be dried. So I am gonna be drilling the hole at the side of the styrofoam so as to allow the hose to come up and go through. It's a little bit messy. It'll be cleaned later. Now this hose is attached to the pump, and it will go through the hole and up here. Trying to give the hose a good amount of leeway so as not to have it be choke, especially some of the time the hose might come with a little debris. So I'll give it a little bend at the bottom. Right. So it's a little bend, and it should work just fine. Or it should work just fine. Okay, so we are waiting that to be dried. Well, as you can hear and as you can see, rain is falling. This is my first IBC tank filtration system. It's built differently. Hopefully one day in the future I will explain to you how it is concocted, or it is built. But for the time being, let's look at the one in which I have just created, right, so as to filter my IBC tank with my Pleckers and my Jack Dempsey. Now this is at work. Now electricity have been sent to it, and it is on the foam. The water is being pumped up by the power head, and the gunk that is beneath is being carried up to the strainer container, where the fiber holds the gunk and the water is actually filtered out and sent back down. Now I was saying earlier on that with a 180 pump for a 250 IBC tank, it's a small pump, a small power head. However, one should be mindful that the higher the pump is placed, is the more the water beats on the surface, thus the more oxygen that is sent to the water. However, you must be mindful of the pump that you buy, looking at the height in which the pump, the maximum height. The maximum height for this pump is 4.5 foot. Thus, I'm unable to put it in that high, and that's one of the reasons why the pump over on the other side doesn't have the velocity of water flowing through it. Now I have about 50 Jack Dempsey in this, along with 4 plecas. This should do well. After the weather has subsided, what I will do, I will do a little pruning of the vegetation here and let it look a little bit more attractive. Now I try my best not to mess around with the cherry tree that's around it, because it kind of give them shade also. But the dynamics of this thing, it do work, right? You can try it, right? Just follow the steps as said before. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Bye bye.